um Punkte geht hier im Ruhrstadion in unserem Funkkästchen. Und da sind wir wieder alle, auch wenn es jetzt eine andere Liga ist. Viele von unseren Jungs, die heute hier jetzt gleich den Fuß auf den Rasen setzen, sind das erste Mal für unseren VfL im Alltag. Und jetzt schauen wir, welche 11 Jungs unser Coach Dieter Hecking als erstes ins Rennen schickt. Wie immer mit unserer Mannschaftsstellung auch heute präsentiert von unserem Hauptsponsor Vonovia. Wir begrüßen unser alte und neue Nummer 1 Timo. Mit der Nummer 3 Philipp. Mit der 6 Ibrahima. Und das Kilometer Nummer 7 ist hier beim VfL ausgebildet worden. Und ist auf einer langen Reise. Die 700 Kilometer in der Ruhrstadion. Herzlich willkommen, Kevin. Mit der Nummer 15 Felix. Und der 19 trägt Mattos. Mit der 24 Mats. Die 29 Moritz. Mit der 32 Maximilian. Mit der 30 Philipp.
So hello, and as always, a very, very warm welcome to everyone joining us here as the pre-season action continues. The boys back from Brazil after a nice time across the water. Not exactly the result they were hoping for in that 5-1 defeat to Brazilian side Flamengo, but back in action again here, back on home soil and against German opposition as well. A team that Bayern 04 know all about, of course, having played them twice last season in the German top flight. VfL Bochum here at the Vonovia Ruhrstadion in western Germany. VfL no longer in the top flight. They'll be plying their trade in Germany's second division next season, having finished bottom of the table in the Bundesliga last campaign. But they will be looking to bounce back as quickly as possible. Easier said than done, of course. The German second division, a very, very competitive league, and will be up against a fair few other big names trying to get back in amongst it with the big boys at the top. As for Bayern 04, somewhat of a new era for them next campaign. New manager with Erik taking over at the start of this month. This the second test for them in pre-season. As already mentioned, that one game against Flamengo not quite going to plan, although Erik fielding a very, very young side at kickoff anyway against Flamengo. Did bring on some of the more experienced players throughout the game. They were unable to turn the tide. Of course, first pre-season game of the preparation period. And the result, not necessarily the be-all or end-all, but I'm sure he will be expecting a little bit more and perhaps somewhat of a reaction from his players here today. Will be fielding a much more convincing starting 11, a much stronger, more experienced starting 11 with Robert Andrich in that 11, of course. Flecken, the new man brought in from Brentford, the 32-year-old Dutchman, in between the sticks from kickoff. And a debut as well, the first start for new signing Jarl Kwanzaa, a central defender brought in from Liverpool. So it should be interesting to see how he fares alongside Andrich and Tapsoba, making up the back three. Grimaldo and Arthur, the two wing backs. Grimaldo out on the left, of course, Arthur on the right. And then Patrick Schick, who will be leading the line, joined by Nathan Teller and Jonas Hoffmann. So a very strong lineup, but up against a Bochum side that have a fair few more minutes under their belts this pre-season already. Spent some time over in Schwach in Tyrol in Austria, just next door to Germany. And they had a fair few tests of their own. Games against Waldhof, Victoria Pilsen, as well as the young boys from Bern, As we see their starting lineup, a strong starting 11 from Dieter Hecking as well. Dieter Hecking, of course, a very experienced manager when it comes to German football. Has managed pretty much everyone apart from Bayer 04, if we're completely honest. Has a rich history, in charge of a number of big teams in German football. The likes of Nürnberg, Hamburg, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Wolfsburg, Hannover 96, just to name a few. Has been in charge of Bochum since back in November of last year, so has well and truly settled in now. And we'll be hoping he can get them back up to where they feel they belong, which is in the Bundesliga. But today, all about Bayer 04 and how they will bounce back from that disappointing result against Flamengo while over in Brazil. Granit Xhaka and Palacios, the two central midfielders today. A few other new signings on the bench from the get-go. And brought in from Hertha Berlin, Ibrahim Maza. He starts on the bench. Young Axel Tappe, brought in on a free transfer from Paris Saint-Germain. He did start against Flamengo, but still only 17 years old. And then some big names on the bench as well. Amin Adli, Victor Boniface could very well be brought into action at some stage. Bayer 04 sporting their new away kits as the action gets underway here in the Ruhrstadion. Just under 30,000 at full capacity. Not quite there here today, perhaps half that in attendance. It should still create a fantastic atmosphere. As Bochum come forward with the first attack, Brzezinski tries to cut it back across onto the edge of the penalty area. So an energetic starts from the hosts, as expected, and as already mentioned, they should be, or at least feel, a little bit more match fit than Bayer 04. Normally would come into this as clear favourites. Last meeting between these two at a competitive level was on match day 27 of last season. Bayer 04 coming away with all 3 points and a 3-1 victory, thanks to goals from Amin Adli, Victor Boniface and Alex Garcia. Felix Paslak scoring the only Bochum goal on the day. The last meeting here, however, was the first meeting between the two last season that ended in a 1-1 draw. One of the rare days that Bochum managed to get points on the board. Did finish bottom of the pile last campaign. Really struggled for goals, but have been scoring for fun in pre-season, funnily enough. Standout game, the one against the young boys from Bern. 4-1 down at half-time, managed to win 5-4 in the end in a 9-goal thriller in Tyrol. A lot of early possession here for the now second division side. Unable to put the finishing touches on the move there as Dieter Hecking watches on. Busy schedule still ahead for Leverkusen. It's just their second pre-season friendly. Games against Fortuna Sittard, as well as Pisa and then Chelsea on the 8th of August, before the first round of the DFB Pokal gets underway on the 15th of August, which is when the season gets going in Germany. Kick things off with the Cup, and then it's on to the first Bundesliga game on the 23rd of August. In the Cup, however, Leverkusen paired up with Sonnenhof Groß Asbach, a game they should comfortably win, you would feel. Nothing guaranteed in the DFB Pokal, of course, as Bayern 04 come forward with their first attack. Patrick Schick popping up in the box. Tries to side-foot it past Timo Horn in goal. Picked out really well there. Nathan Teller just couldn't quite get the contact he was looking for. I think he was trying to drag it into the bottom left corner there. Still, good move, promising stuff. An entertaining start to this game here. Bayern 04, of course, finishing second last campaign behind Bayern Munich. Having won both the league and the domestic cup the season before. Will go down as a season to remember for Bayern 04 fans. There's been a change of guard in terms of management now, with Erik Ten Hag taking over from Xabi Alonso. It'll be interesting to see how he stamps his authority on things, if style of football will be all that different. Cheaply there, chance for the Werkself to try and make something happen here, just inside the Bochum half. Ronaldo slowing things down. Andrich to Kwanzaa. Big things expected from the former Liverpool man. He's a player that Liverpool weren't exactly happy about letting go, but somewhat of a rebuild for the Premier League side as well. Their season meant that they had to let players go in order to bring others in. Similar story with Bayern 04 as well. Patrick Schick there just moments ago with another really good chance, even better than his first. A powerful header down, almost did everything right there. Lovely delivery to pick him out. Just inches wide in the end from the big man up front. Erik Ten Hag. A lot of early possession for Bochum, but best chances so far have fallen to Bayern 04. Could easily already find themselves with their noses in front. Patrick Schick with two fantastic opportunities. Over 6 minutes gone in the Ruhrstadion. Bochum just slightly north of Cologne and Düsseldorf, for any of you interested in its geographical location. Vogt, summer arrival from VfL Bochum. Ball back inside. Penevik sends it out wide again. Given away by Morgala. Flecken does well as the ball came his way under pressure. Joel Kwanzaa putting the brakes on things again to relieve that pressure. Here's Grimaldo. Andrich looking for options here. Nofir trying to play it patiently, looking for an opening in these early stages. Starting to settle into things now in terms of possession as well. Switch of play. Lovely first touch to drag it inside, and then a bit of a wild effort in the end. Taken down beautifully by Teller, and then just sort of slices it with the outside of the right boot there. Fantastic ball again to pick him out. So the diagonal distribution already very easy on the eye from Bayer 04. Not a bad ball there either, over the top. Bit of space here. And Flecken called into action. Gets down early, gets his body behind the ball to deny Hoffmann. Very experienced striker in his own right. Somewhat of a veteran in the VfL side. Does really well. Lovely first touch to just get himself into a shooting position. A little drop of the shoulder. Can't drag it wide enough to find that far corner. There he is, the new man in charge. Normally with Ajax Amsterdam before trying his luck in the Premier League, Manchester United. He'll have somewhat of a tough time there, but most would agree was not due to fault of his own. There under difficult circumstances. And will hopefully be a great fit for the Werkself. Trying to play their way out from the back there. Patrick Schick on the receiving end of a lunging challenge there. Allowed to continue. The whistle does eventually go, but in favour of Bochum. Beto brought down. Promising area here. Palacios just lunging in there. I think Granit Xhaka just having a word with the referee about possibly could have blown his whistle a little earlier there with that challenge on Patrick Schick. Beto and Vitek standing over the ball here. Probably a little too far out for a direct effort on goal. And swung in towards the back post. It's an inviting cross. And Hoffmann, even at full stretch, unable to get on the end of it. Taps up. Lay off by Hoffmann. And Xhaka nicely with the outside of the left boot. Out wide to Arthur. after a promising start from Bochum. It's pretty much been all Bayern 04 from that dead ball situation and half chance just a few moments ago. In terms of open play, the Bundesliga side starting to assert their dominance on the game now. And that wide to Arthur. Patience, the name of the game here at the moment. Being very in control. Nice little layoff, foul on Hofmann. Referee just waited a minute to see if there was an advantage to be played before bringing it back. Good refereeing from the official. So similar situation here at the other end. Again, probably a little too far out, although you wouldn't put it past Grimaldo, who does now and then come up with a rocket in that left foot. Does go for goal! And what a goal that would have been. Plenty of whip and movement on it. Looked initially like it might be heading for Rosette, but then just dipped ever so wickedly. And Timo Horn at full stretch, scrambling to get across. Happy to see that one sail by. Kwanzaa does well to avoid conceding the corner there. One back by João Kwanzaa. Arthur there in support as well. Now Bayern 04 can build from the back once more. So far so good, I think. Erik Ten Hag, I think he'll be relatively pleased with the way his side have started here. Grimaldo, a lot of space out on this near side. Sees the ball come his way from Tapsoba for sending it back. Inside to Grimaldo, lovely little cushioned layoff there. Jonas Hofmann, who I'm not sure was expecting it, to be fair. Lovely vision from Arthur to find Grimaldo, who just knew that Bero was closing down just over his left shoulder, which is I think why he decided not to have a crack himself. Bayern 04 do come away with the corner though. Whipped in, straight into the hands of Timo Horn. Big boot upfield there from Timo Horn, but dealt with straight away. There's Grimaldo again. Werkself with 2 big chances already to take the lead. Early into this game, both falling to Patrick Schick. Big season ahead for him. 21 goals in the Bundesliga last season. Counter-attack is on here, Brusinski. Jarrell Kwanzaa does really well. Very shrewd bit of business, bringing Jarrell Kwanzaa in. Very highly rated in the Premier League. Didn't get as much game time as his talent and performances probably deserved, but of course, easier said than done. In a Liverpool team that is blessed with a lot of talent in all positions. I think a great move for Bayern 04, but a great move for Jarrell Kwanzaa as well. He'll be looking to try and break into the England team with that World Cup coming up. It's become somewhat of a trend in recent years. Young English players coming to the Bundesliga to develop. I think Kwanzaa could turn out to be a really, really important player for Erik ten Hag next season. Run back well by Palacios. Xhaka's ball into Arthur. Put him in a little bit of trouble there, but the ball might have been taken off him unfairly. Whistle does eventually go. A slightly softer challenge on Granit Xhaka. Ronaldo, time and time again, finds himself in quite a bit of space on this near side. Bochum allowing him that space. I don't feel yet to really take advantage of it so far. So just another reminder for Bayern 04 fans. Werkself in action again on the 1st of August against Fortuna Sittard. Then on the 5th against Pisa. And then again on the 8th against Chelsea. Should be a cracker, even if it is pre-season. And then the new season gets underway on the 15th of August. Early evening kickoff. The first round of the DFB Pokal against SG Sonnenhof Groß Asbach. Timo Horn in a bit of trouble here. Hasn't put it out of play either. It's floated back into the middle. Only really Schick to aim at. Xhaka does well. Keeps the move alive. Now Grimaldo. Another really good-looking cross. And a superb finish from Hofmann to give Bayern 04 a deserved lead. 1-0 up. And what a peach of a cross that was from Grimaldo. Has his head up, sees the run. No one picks it up. Still work to do for Jonas Hofmann. He buries it into that bottom left corner on the inside of the right boot. Placement over power. And Leverkusen 1-0 up here. A really well taken goal. Jonas Hoffmann. Textbook football from Bayern 04. Bochum reply by winning themselves a corner. Flecken called into action once so far, with pretty much 25 minutes gone here in the Ruhrstadion. Might be called into action again here. This dead ball situation. Vitek with the delivery, sends it deep towards the back post. Collected well though by Flecken. He's quick to get the ball rolling again. Chested down nicely by Nathan Teller. Just waiting for support. Arrives in the form of the goal scorer. He tries his luck from distance this time. Sadly, not quite the same outcome. Hoffmann with just 2 goals in the Bundesliga last season. Scored Bayern 04's second of this summer's pre-season. The only goal against Flamengo coming from youngster Montrell Culbreth, who is on the bench here this evening as well. Nice little 1-2 between Arthur and Hoffmann. A little too much weight on the pass from the latter. Does well to try and head it back towards Patrick Schick there. Nice first time ball from Andrich, picked up by Grimaldo. Touch football, not quite coming off that time, and now the break is on. Down this right side. Caught well by Flecken. Morgalla with a good run. Final ball just lacking slightly though. Flecken, another really good bit of business done by Bayern 04 this summer. Some big names leaving. Fans very happy to see signings made. Money generated, being put back into the squad. Flecken, of course, part of what's turning out to be a mass exodus at Brentford in the Premier League. A number of their players deciding to move on, including their manager as well. Thomas Frank now, of course, in charge of Tottenham Hotspur. The likes of Mbuemo moving on to Manchester United. The captain Norgard now with Arsenal. And Johan Wissa at the centre of transfer rumours as well. So he does eventually go. So Hofmann brought down just inside his own half there. Probably worked out well for Bayern 04 because Robert Andrich would have been caught out of position there. Nogala on the move again. There's Ibrahima Sissoko to Kevin Vogt. Now Strumpf. Rare extended spell of possession here for VfL. Worst of cutbacks there. But Hofmann unable to control it, if that's what he was trying to do. Seemed to bobble off the top of his boot and then went for a Bayern 04 goal kick in the end. So just past the half-hour mark. As Flecken plays it cool inside his own box. Lacking in confidence, the new man in between the sticks. Werkself with a relatively easy start into the DFB Pokal. Nothing easy about the start of the Bundesliga season for them though. As another attack breaks down. First game on the 23rd is at home, which is always an advantage on the first day of action. They welcome Hoffenheim to town before going on the road on match day 2 to take on Werder Bremen. And back home again to welcome Eintracht Frankfurt. So 3 massive games. 3 games that Erik ten Hag will be hoping will result in an early 9 points, as he and his side will look to compete with the likes of the usual suspects at the top of the table. no-nonsense tackle. Morgala, another one of the new arrivals. Ronaldo trying to dance his way through. Flag up for offside already. And just over 10 minutes still to go in this first half in the Ruhrstadion. Bayern with their noses in front, thanks to a lovely finish from Jonas Hoffmann in the 23rd minute. And the end of an even better cross from Grimaldo. Not all too much to write home about since that opening goal, though, in terms of goal-scoring opportunities anyway. So far, and as things stand, you wouldn't be able to tell that Bochum have had plenty more much experience under their belts in this pre-season so far. In terms of fitness, Bayern have looked right at it. The warm weather training sessions in Brazil playing their part in that as well. Plenty of pace and power behind that shots from Vitek, but well off target. Never really troubling Mark Flecken in goal. Flecken again, taking his time. I'm happy to welcome the press, just to try and create some space for the outlets. Arthur unable to control it that time. Not the worst idea though. Play across to Felix Paslak. His pass picked off though by Tapsoba. Nathan Teller just a little slow to start his edge in there. He started a little earlier, might have been able to give Tapsoba a little bit of support down that left wing. Probably expects a fair few changes from both teams, whether at half-time or at some stage in the second half. And so perhaps for VfL Bochum. We'll be a little closer to full match fitness by an Orfea at this stage. Opportunity here for Bochum to level things up, and what a stop that is on the line by Mark Flecken. World-class save from the new man in goal. Got himself across quickly, realised exactly where the danger was, and then just sticks out a left leg. Golden opportunity from Panovic, but have to give credit to Flecken there. Anticipated exactly where the ball was going to be. Made sure he was there to deal with that danger. Switch of play there from Andrich. Grimaldo with an early ball. Back out onto the right. Lands at the feet of Arthur. Back to Grimaldo again. Palacios caught in possession. Andrich doing his best to try and win it back. It's Plaszinski. He comes out on top though, and flecking off his line early. Continues to impress. Bochum trying to finish the half strong and on the front foot here. Luck. Taps it up with the interception. Schick does well to win the throw. Looked like he played it off Paslak. No complaints from the big man though. Would suggest it did come off him in the end. Dink over the top. Taps away having none of it. Really nice play from Bayern Norfia. Xhaka again with a shout there. If there was one, he didn't hear it. A challenge there from Palacios, I believe it was, on Panovig. And was eventually brought back as a result. Sissoko able to turn. Find Plaszinski. Can't get the ball out from underneath his feet though. Not happy with the decision against him. Foul on Granit Xhaka. It's clever play from Xhaka. right direction. Just a little too much weight behind it. And Flecken. And for Grimaldo there. Erik ten Hag quite clearly wants his goalkeeper to play it out from the back with his defenders rather than just hopefully put it upfield. Little back heel from Arthur. Schick with the turn. Great ball to find Nathan Teller. Teller on his left. Good stop. The rebound comes in and Schick makes it 2 right on the stroke of half time. It's a great breakaway goal. Bayern 04 playing their way from back to front and rewarded with a goal to make it 2-0. Right on the half-time whistle. Timo Horn with the block can do nothing about the rebound, and a little deflection of Kevin Vogt, making life even more difficult for Timo Horn as he was trying to get back across. Could do nothing to keep it out though. And so Bayern 04 take a 2-goal cushion down the tunnel and into the changing rooms at half-time here in the Ruhrstadion. A very entertaining first half, an impressive first half from Erik ten Hag's side, and hopefully more to come in the second 45. Grab yourself a snack and a drink and make sure you join us for that second 45 in just a few. So, welcome back for the second 45 of this pre-season friendly. Bayern 04 here in the Ruhrstadion against VfL Bochum. 2 first-half goals means Erik Ten Hag's side are cruising towards victory as things stand. Jonas Hoffmann breaking the deadlock in the 23rd after a lovely move and brilliant cross from Grimaldo. And then Patrick Schick on the rebound after Nathan Teller's effort was saved by Timo Horn to double Werkself's lead and put them in a very comfortable position heading into these second 45 minutes here on this Sunday evening. I hope you've been enjoying yourselves here with us. Ball over the top to the new man up front, and it's off the outside of the post. Ibrahim Sissoko, another summer signing for VfL Bochum, in on goal there. It looked like he'd sent the keeper the wrong way. I believe the flag stayed down as well. Radetzky in between the sticks for Bayern 04. They'll come forward themselves. Grimaldo. A number of changes made by both sides at the break. I'll do my best to try and get those to you as quickly as possible. Easier said than done sometimes with pre-season friendlies. Does look like a new signing Axel Tappe has joined the back three in the meantime. Further forward, another half chance. Bayern 04 comes to nothing. Axel Tappe still just 17 years old. He's still brought in from Paris Saint-Germain. If I'm not mistaken, another youngster up front as well in the form of Christian Kofane. As for Bochum, Felix Paslak and Philipp Hofmann making way for the man who almost pegged one back for Bochum just a few moments ago, Ibrahim Sissoko, not to be mistaken with Ibrahima Sissoko. In central midfield. And Rösch, Mario Rösch to be precise, replacing Felix Paslak. And there is Kofane. Picks up a yellow card for his troubles. Bochum breaking through the middle and out wide. Back across, chance here for Vitek. He slices his effort wide. Just let the ball run across his body there. And just has a bit of a wild swing at it in the end. Would perhaps like the ball played slightly more ahead of him there from Bedo. Still had plenty of time to line up the shot. Just couldn't put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Fane on the receiving end that time. Bit of a tussle on the halfway line. Comes away with the decision though. So a slightly more physical start to the game here in the second 45. It's been an entertaining one though, as far as pre-season friendlies go. Not always guaranteed. Also great to see new signing Ibrahim Maza out on the pitch as well. Star in the making in German football. On the ball here. Really good season with Hertha in the second division. Those timeouts. 5 goals, 5 assists from the 19-year-old. Another 2 goals in the DFB Pokal as well. Big things expected from that young man. Not just at club level. Really interesting to see how he develops and progresses with the Werkself now. Good covering there by Jaro Kwanzaa. He's put in a really good shift here. His first starts for his new team. Vitek, deflection across there, easy catch for experienced Radetzky in goal. Good competition in the goalkeeping department now. Erik Ten Hag, who will have a decision to make on the first day of the season. Flicken with a really impressive first 45. Necessarily have loads to do, but when he was called upon, he's there with the big saves. One standout stop on the line, especially. In the meantime, Bochum with a corner from the far side. Vitek to take it. Interference there. Radetzky. Smothered by about 3 Bochum players there on the goal line. As expected, not too many changes from Dieter Hecking. Just the 2 so far. Tap it with the foul on Broszinski there. Youngster eager to impress Erik Ten Hag, and who knows, perhaps find himself in the mix at the start of the Bundesliga season, more likely. He'll be spending the majority of his time with the under-19s. Another player for the future, gathering some vital experience here with the first team in pre-season. Szymanski watches it all the way. Claims it at his back post. Bad start to the second half from VfL Bochum here. Comes with Erik making a total of 4 changes at the break. And perhaps take them time to just find their rhythm and settle into things. And the new boys. Finally unable to hold on to the ball there. Advantage played initially and then brought back. Foul on Panovic there. But Andrich just holding on to the Bochum midfielder. Not the first time we've seen those two get stuck in. Dead ball situation here for the second division side. Looked dangerous from set pieces already. Struggled somewhat from open play. Flag up. Panovic again taking a bit of a knock. Looks like he'll be alright to continue though. Arthur does well to find Xhaka. Back to Arthur again. Heavy touch, but then there's a body check to the ground by Kevin Vogt. He just has a little look at him, doesn't he? I'm not sure the argument, I couldn't get out of the way. Would be a good one here. Thinking exactly what he was doing. And the poor Brazilian felt the full brunt of it. Bayernofia do have a free kick in a very promising position now. And a very talented left foot standing over the ball here in the form of Grimaldo. Grimaldo towards the back post. Vogt. The header away in the nick of time as well. I think it will be a corner. Ronaldo with the delivery, can't get it past the first defender though. And now the counter is on. If only for a moment. Great tracking back by young Tappet. Picking up a yellow card for that body check, shall we call it. And Arthur. fist through the middle towards Brushinski, but just slightly ahead of the young forward. As we edge past the hour mark. Changes made again by both managers, more from Dieter Hecking. So Kolbreth now out there for the Werkself. Scored the only goal against Flamengo. The Brazil tour. To find a way through the middle. This is picked up by Robert Andrich though. Stay down, Clarisia. Frenchman, I believe. He's the player who seems to have a problem, and Dieter Hecking not too happy with play continuing. One of his players is down. Radetzky is there to check on him. Sissoko seems to have the problem. Dieter Hecking's new number 9. Looks like he's going to be okay to continue though. Some more changes on the way. Jeremiah Menza, as well as the more experienced Amin Adli, ready to come on. Fresh legs out there now. The final 25 and a bit minutes we have left here in the Ruhrstadion. All those substitutions in this second half not quite as free-flowing as the first half. Hopefully that will now change. Out wide. VfL here. defended. For the first time, Werkself tap it. It's a real talent. He's not looked out of place whatsoever. Just 17, that is impressive to say the least. Opportunity to peg one back. Ibrahima Sissoko, excuse me. Close but no cigar. Very different game now. The amount of changes made. First 45. Northia very much in control. Never really looked like they were in any danger. One or two chances here or there, but overall, very much the team on top. Slightly more open now. Do of course have a 2-goal cushion to work with though. Player who has remained out there, new signing Gerald Kwanzaa. He's looked equally at home in that back three. Inside Andrich and Tapsoba in the first half, now with Werkself Tape on this right side of the three. And the ball here. Maza. Lovely ball to Kafane. Just can't get it out from underneath his feet with that first touch. The pass Timo Horn would have wanted. He's left a little short. Able to boot it clear in the end anyway. Back to Horn. Strong play down the right wing. VfL Bochum, Magala centres it. Sissoko and Clavesia able to get the shot off, but Kwanzaa, I believe, with the block. Tape sprinting across to help him out as well. It was one of the two who got the block in. Andrich with the slide tackle. It's Tape. There's their own supports. Again, great defending from the young 17-year-old. Kwanzaa's header away. Straight back into the danger zone. Strand lines up the shots. Gets it all sorts of wrong. Tape still on the move. Again, powerful run. Shrugs off one challenge. Stays on his feet after the second as well. It's been the highlight of the second half as far as the Werkself are concerned. And his trade with PSG's youth system. Played for them at under 17 as well as under 23 levels before making the move. Free transfer. Bayer Morphia. Again, looks like a really smart bit of business. Whether or not we'll see too much of him next season, I'm not so sure. We won't have to wait all that long if he keeps putting in performances like this. Kleiner Beckel, Lenz and Loosely about to come on for Bochum for these closing stages. 18 minutes, plus probably a few minutes of stoppage time as well. Looks like Kwanzaa will now make way. Really strong performance from him. Ben Havikhorst to replace him. Pretty much all the youngsters out there now from Erik Ten Hag. He's always been a manager that's been more than happy to play young players if they are good enough, or if he feels they are. Something that I'm sure a lot of these youngsters will be well aware of. It's a real opportunity for them in pre-season to impress the manager. We've seen him do it at Ajax, we've seen him do it at Manchester United. Loves to bring young talented players through. Give them the opportunity if he feels they're ready. Age is but a number. As far as Erik Ten Hag is concerned, it's all about what you do on the pitch and what you bring to the team. One or two would have stood out here already. Less than that, man. Axel Tape, excuse me. Again, does really well. Unable to keep the ball in play, but does well to win it back and then nearly breaks away with the ball as well. Top for Kofane to chase. Held back there by Sissoko. We'll pick up a yellow card for that foul on the young striker. Thursday. Hasn't quite had things go his way when on the ball, Kofane, so far, but he's certainly put himself about. Some really good runs down the channels as well. Some deft first touch there. Maza. He's breaking forward here, has options left and right, goes it alone. Just cuts under the shot to send it up and over. Did everything right until the final effort. Acted as if he was going to shift it to one of his teammates, then decides to go it alone, well within his right to do so. Once the space opened up for the shot, just couldn't quite get the shot off the way that he wanted. Xhaka, replaced by Victor Boniface. Good start against Flamengo. Boniface up front as one of the few first team players in that starting 11. About 36 minutes under his belt. Still working his way back to full match fitness, of course. Preparation for the new season ahead. Could have a big part to play. Menza. Spreads it out wide. Harvey Course now. Forward to Kafane. Tries a little back heel inside for Amin Adli. It's the right idea. Just couldn't quite get the execution right. And again, getting himself into really good positions. Already out of play, so Bochum with a throw inside their own half. 12 minutes left on the clock, plus some change. Just under 16,000 in attendance, which is a pretty good turnout for a pre-season friendly. Quite as animated, the fans here in the second as they were in the first. The scoreline perhaps had something to do with that. Volume levels were raised a little in the opening 5 minutes of the second 45, but since then, by no fear, they've looked relatively comfortable again. So Miyoshi comes on. Young Sarko out on the pitch as well now. By no fear. Facing Jonas Hoffmann. After conceding 5 against Flamengo over in Brazil, I think Erik Ten Hag wants his team, albeit a very young one now, so going to try and hold on to the clean sheet as well. Just makes that win a little bit sweeter when we do it without conceding, even in pre-season. Yet to see too much from the only goal scorer against Flamengo, Colbreth. Out on the right wing, the majority of play has come through the middle. Out on the left since he's come on. does come his way. Good first touch. And back with Tappe. Andrich. Colin Kleiner Beckel. Picking up a nasty cut, it would seem. Hopefully nothing too serious. Jeremiah Menza. Take the corner from this near side. The in-swinger with the left foot. Height and distance, the name of the game. The worst set piece there. Bayern 04, not the outcome they wanted, but still decent move there. Straight off the training ground. Kleiner Beckel, so still being seen to by the medical team. Doing their best to try and get him back on as quickly as possible. Bochum down to 10 at the moment. There's Kolbreth to Kafane. Kolbreth continues his run. Kafane unaware. Nicely done by Tappe. And the standout performer as far as the youngsters go for me. Very, very impressive in that back three with Andrich and Kwanza. For the majority of his time on the pitch, now Ben Havikhorst. The one on the left side of that back three. Bochum did come back from 4-1 down against Young Boys Bern. One of their pre-season friendlies to win 5-4. Time running out if they want to turn the tide here. The signs would suggest it's perhaps just a little out of their reach at the moment. 2 goals in 6 minutes, perhaps a little more. It'll be the first time in football. Strong play from Boniface. Kolbreth. Andrich. Kafane does really well. Chests it down very nicely indeed. Sadly, Aminadli able to do the same and keep it in play. Claricien, ball into the middle, looking for Koji Miyoshi. Kleiner Beckel, good to see him back out on the pitch. Headed on by Sissoko. Kjellvetjen penalised for a little nudge in the back. Might have been offside. looked like he was in an offside position initially. The best of balls there by Andrich. Tries to recover. It's a challenge in. Clavicia going down and looking to the referee, asking the question. Get a better look at it here. Is there enough contact there for a penalty? I'd have to probably say no. Bochum will have a corner. 3 minutes left on the clock. Floated in towards the penalty spots. Shot from distance. Well done. Clavicia, or Sissoko there, excuse me. Might have already been in an offside position, I'm not sure. I think Andrich does play him on. Badetsky to watch that bobble wide. It looked like he was in too much danger. Traore to replace Robert Andrich. Just a handful of minutes still to go here. Boniface wins the corner. Chance there for Ben Havighorst. Came in just slightly behind, which always makes it that little bit more difficult in terms of trying to get the direction on it. Hopeful ball over the top. Sissoko will chase, but from an offside position. Stop and start rhythm to the second half continues all the way until the final whistle. Still, overall, an entertaining night of football, especially for the Bayern 04 fans who have enjoyed what they've seen. Bochum fans, perhaps, maybe not so much. They have had little glimpses here and there of what could perhaps come for them next season. Half chance blocked just before it can fizz across the face of goal. Kafane now chasing it down the other way. Good upper body strength. And the decision goes against him, and that's a harsh one on the young man. Shoulder to shoulder, I'd have to agree. This wins the physical battle against Loosely. And that will wrap things up. So Bayern 04 bounce back from that 5-1 defeat against Flamengo. And get back to winning ways here in pre-season. And a clean sheet to boot. First half goals from Jonas Hoffmann and Patrick Schick, enough to get the job done here against VfL Bochum. And it was a very impressive first 45. In the second half, some of the youngsters were able to shine and impress as well. All in all, the boxes ticked for Erik ten Hag on the team's return to Germany. Make sure you join us next time as well. We'll be more than happy to bring you Erik ten Hag and his side's next test. They play Fortuna Sittard on the 1st of August. That's a 7 o'clock evening kickoff. So make sure you join us for that. As for here and now, that's all from us. Thank you for joining us. And as always, and until next time, stay safe and take care.
Einmal so den Arsch oder